How's it going today, guys? It is a Friday, and I am just about done work. So, we got a lot of stuff to do today. We gotta go to the bottle depot. We got to work on the house. We're gonna grout some tiles that we had installed, and not sure what else we're gonna do, but we'll find something. If you can ignore the massive amount of weeds that are growing around this thing and my dog that's helping me mow them, this right here is my 1960 something, 65 Okanagan Camperette. My wife and I picked this up for 900 bucks. We had to do some pretty extensive work on the inside, so we ended up tearing out the entire interior, and we're working on replacing the paneling and the wiring. We're going to wire in some new lights. That's what I'm going to do today. We replaced the ceiling with this colored board. We didn't really know what we were doing when we did it. This board's pretty heavy. It's about ½ an inch thick. So hopefully it doesn't fall down. We're just holding it in with what size are these? These are 3/4 inch finishing nails. So I think what we might end up doing is we might end up putting a bar across the top, just a 1x1. Give it a little bit more support because it does move quite a bit. But that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to run a new light here. This light's going to be this 12 volt swivel bar that I picked up at Princess Auto, and then the interior vehicle light is going in the middle. The bar light's going there. I got a fuse panel, and I have a little panel that we can run our plug our phones into, and it'll have an accessory 12 volt box. And then the trailer lights, you can see that the green wires there are where the trailer lights are, so we'll run the trailer lights, and everyone will be happy. So I've actually done a fair amount of low voltage 12 volt wiring. I worked with electronics a lot when I was in high school. I was part of a community that was building portable consoles. Basically, we'd take N64s and SNESs and NESs, take them apart, cut down the motherboards so that they're small enough, and then you'd add batteries and a screen, built-in controller, all that sort of thing. Basically, this was before handheld consoles and emulation were really a big deal. So it was cool. It was really cool having that experience, but it set me up for a lot of success when it came to doing stuff like this, because low voltage stuff is pretty easy. You can't really hurt yourself. Worst thing you'll do is release some black smoke. That's about it. So this here is these wires here. The two green ones, black and white, are where this trailer plug used to be connected to. Now, I don't have a 4-pin connector on my truck. I have a 7-pin connector, so that needed to go. And also, my my truck's connector is at the back rather than at the cab. This one used to come through the floor here. I had to take this wood out here because ants had gotten into the trailer through the top there, and they kind of dug their way in and then ate all of the wood there. So I replaced this inner board here completely. I opted to keep this one because it was still okay, and then I shored this one up with a triangle of 3/4 inch plywood. And then I spray foamed. I did Flex Seal on the whole thing, and then I spray foam the gaps. So hopefully no water is going to get in here. I'm going to have to go here and trim off all of this excess, because I was towards the end of the can when I did this particular side. So I kind of just shot it everywhere in hopes that that would work, but probably wasn't the best idea, and I probably shouldn't have done it, but you live and you learn. Anyways, what we're going to be doing now is I got this 4-core trailer wire here. This is 14 gauge, so it's a little thicker than that stuff, but it's not, it's 14 gauge, so it's a little thicker than the stuff that was over there, but not insanely. We're not going to be pulling a whole ton of amps here anyways, so 14 gauge should be more than enough. I'm going to run this wire from here, where the trailer plugs used to be, down, and then across this wall, and over here where our switches and our light up there are going to be. Instead of trying to drill through this framing, I'm just going to tuck the wires just behind the insulation, and I hope that'll be okay. I know that it's not ideal, but I don't really have a drill that can drill it when it's in place. Alright, so we got enough cable here. I think we should be okay. I'm going to measure this down, let's say to there, and then we'll snip this guy. Okay, so what are we going to do in here? I don't really know why I spray foamed on the outside. It's kind of a waste. Putting the light in here. I picked up this light for, I don't know, 15 bucks at Princess Auto. What I'm going to opt to do with this one is I'm not going to connect it directly on, because I don't want to have to cut these connectors off if I ever have to replace this light. It is an LED, so if I have to replace it, I'm going to have to replace the entire light, which kind of sucks. But LEDs are a lot brighter. I like them a lot more, and they're more energy efficient, of course. Now, modern LEDs don't usually break as quickly. So I'm going to put the male connectors on here. How's it going, little puppy? Coming to see us? Really excited to use this trailer. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, they've got red and black here, which is kind of confusing. I'm going to assume that let's go with red being positive, because I'm positive that red is positive. Ooh, I don't know if I like these connectors. I'm not a huge fan of these blade connectors. I like the banana plugs a little better. But these don't fit nicely at all together. Holy crap. Again, Princess Auto specials, man. Maybe one of these days I'll learn. So, what are we going to do here? We got white and we got... Alright, so I got my motorbike battery here. Okay, well, let's try this light. Doesn't fucking work. The light doesn't work. Either that or my battery's dead. So this is where I'm going to put the next light bar. It's going to go right up there like that. And then that'll shine down onto the floor so that when you switch it on, it'll light up where you're sleeping without shining it in your face. So I ran the cable into here. It's got a switch on it, you can see. And then I'm going to mount that somewhere on the wall here with the control panels here. And yeah, that'll be good. But I think that's all I'm going to be able to get done today, because I have to go back to work. Alright guys, it's been about a week or so. As you can tell, I'm much cleaner than I was a few weeks ago. I got a new haircut, I shaved. What I've done now is I went and I got my power supply, which is right there. You can see it. Everybody laugh at me, laugh at my old school RF power supply. Because my batteries weren't charged, so I'm going to hook those up and we'll see how they work. So this is my power supply. Picked it up super cheap at a garage sale. Added just a super simple voltage meter to it there. You can see it's bouncing around. And what I've done here is I hooked up the power leads as they're supposed to. They're hooked up here, and then I've got the light hooked up. You can see as we slowly increase the voltage here, we'll put it up to just over 10. Boop. You can see our light turns on. We'll go to about 12. Looks like my power supply is not really enough to run this guy. Can't produce enough current, so it's cutting in and out. But anyways, as you can see, light works. It's working great. As you can see as well here, I've got the power bar or the light bar hooked up here to my power supply. It's reading 12 volts and the light is running, so that's always good. So this is the panel that I got. As you can see, it's got a 12 volt port. Let's see if I can get it open here. It's got a 12 volt port, 2 USB ports, a voltage checker, and then a light to switch it on or off. So I wired this up in a way so that the switch will turn on the voltage checker and the USB plugs, because the USB one has a ring light on it and I don't want that turned on when we're sleeping. The 12 volt one I'm just going to wire directly to the battery through a fuse, and then that should give us some pretty good selection of stuff to do. Here I will show you how it works. I connect the negative lead to the negative here, like so. And I connect the positive to this positive, and then I switch it on. You can see that the light and the voltage reading are on. I switch it off, voltage reading's off. Now, likewise with the USB plugs, if I connect that up and then switch it on, you can see that the blue light is on, the USB has power. If I switch it off, USB is off. So when that's wired in, those two things are going to be on together because I wired the negatives together, so it's switching the negatives. And in doing that, when we're charging our phones, we can also watch the state of charge of our batteries. I don't think this blue light is really going to take a whole ton of current, especially not from like a car battery. So I think we're going to be okay. But it'll definitely be, it's not as ideal as I wanted it to be, but it does have that blue light, which kind of sucks. But, I mean, it's camping, and this trailer's kind of on a budget, so if we need to get it done, we need to get it done, and we can throw a piece of tape or throw a towel in front of it if we need to. I need to mount this light. So I think that's all I'm going to be able to do today. I need to do a lot more work on that trailer when it comes to replacing the paneling, and then once the paneling's been replaced, I can do the rest of the electrical. I've also got an inverter that I'm going to wire in, and of course mounting the lights, but I can only really mount the lights after the paneling's in, because the LED bar needs to go on the back. It needs to go on top of the paneling. So we're going to do that, but I think that wraps up this one. If you guys want to see more, remember to like and subscribe. I'm going to be working on this project over the next few weeks, so hopefully there will be a few more uploads. That is, if you can tolerate looking at me. Anyways, have a good day.